Hello from me, Lazarus. We continue with practice in the fold part of 6th lesson of the Lazarus IDE course. So now we move on to the practical part and the completion of our third program. So far we have done the following. We have changed the title of the form to My Form. We have created a second form. We have created an empty module and we have saved the project as project_3_forms. Here's what we have in the code editor. Unit 1 is the unit of our main form. Unit 2 is the modulus of our second form. Unit 3 is the empty module. Switching between them is done like. Click with the left mouse button. In the order of their titles in the code editor. We have already seen this, here it is. And switching between the corresponding module and its format. Done by the F12 key. Now we can move on. We click on Unit 1. And press the F12 key. To show our first form. Then we put on Form 2 buttons. Which we already did in the previous program and we change their titles like this. On the first one will be, Show Form 2. And on the second, Close. So we click on the first button. We go to Caption and we write Show Form 2. And press Enter. Then Sum. Expand the button. So, we do the second one in relation to the first one. Just a moment to level them. You see we have extra lines here. When we have to level. Which fit in and show us exactly how much it should be. Big button. On the second instead of button_print. We write close. And press Enter. So, we see that the buttons are show in the object inspector. However, there is a name left here. Button_print because in object inspector where the name was, the previous one remained. We need to change it to button 2. So that we no longer have such a problem. So now we need to create procedures for our button click actions. For this purpose we will click on them successively. We start with the first one. Double click on it. And in the opened procedure, we write the following code. Form. Just a moment. That I was wrong. I missed something important. Therefore by writing the dot we see that no prompt appears. With the possibilities which we have before us. We try to add it manually. Show.form 2. However, we now see that in this case, we are still not shown the hint. In fact, we see that even when we wrote all this down in the messages, the environment shows us that on this line, 35.3 we have an error. That there is no such component. Why? Because we are currently not connected between the two modules. And we have to make them accessible to each other. The easiest way to do this is after the operative word implementation. In the first module to add new line that should to contain the following uses unit 2. And in the second module there we will add a new line and write uses unit 1. And in this way we have already linked them together. Here we can go back and yes, write the period. And here we see that we already have procedures with the possible options. Here's how to write. For example, form 2. And immediately we are shown the list. And if we go to show, directly we can. Let's choose him. And this way we also know which module. We can also write who doesn't. So, for the second button, we click twice. We go back to form. By pressing the F12 key, we click twice on the button. And write the following. Form 1. And here we are immediately shown the methods. But not here. Choose show. And we will choose close. We can also write only close. Will also be valid. And we can now. We start the project. As first will it. Save. And after that, we will compile and run it. Now we can open. We see the second form is shown to us. And by pressing the close button, the project is closed. Now it remains to form the second shape. We go to the button. We call the form. And to begin with we do it a little smaller, let's say. So, to collect in the first form, we will choose and some color that is nicer. For example, this green blue. However, there was somewhere green. Let's choose him. And we will put a label. In which we will write hello. But we'll make it bigger by increasing further. His font and more. Even if it gets bigger, no problem. So we'll set it up. So that it becomes roughly proportional. Come on, I'll leave it in this way. So then I compile again. I press the button. Here we see the second form appeared. And when I clicked close, closes. The only thing left was yes. Change the position property of the second form to appear in the middle of the first. We click on the second form, and we find the position property and instead of pro_designer we choose for_my_form_center. We compile and here we see that is already displayed in the center of the first shape. That's it for this tutorial. Best regards.